Mic test 3 2 1. Let's see if we're live on YouTube. Okay, test 3 2 1. This is great. I think we should get started here. I need to check if we're already live on YouTube, and looks like the stream has already started. Let me put some lo-fi. Okay. Right, so let's get started in this session. I'll be doing the NAS 100, and I want to just basically backtest the sweep, the shift, and the gap. And there's also one other concept I'd like to apply inside this session, is like when we are on a crucial liquidity zone, like the moment we take out that liquidity is a good moment that we shift. For example, like let me draw some things more here. Okay, so let's suppose we have a chart that's going like this, and then we start creating, we create a small high right here, and then we start to drop. So it's possible, you can see that this is like an internal low. There's a possibility that sometimes we come and take out this high like this by a small tick, and then we start to drop. So that drop comes out as something like this maybe. So like on the higher time frame, you would look at this sweep, this one right here, and then on the lower time frame you look at this internal structure to find where to position yourself in an entry. Same happens when these are equal highs, like we get the sweep and then drop. Same way you can position an entry first on the way to target these highs, then have another entry on the way to, you know, reverse after that, because most likely we can reverse and take out this low, or even react on a POI, but we have a movement on the low time frame as a rejection of this sweep. So I think that was all of what I've learned, and let's get to it. Anyways, so let's first see. You can see that when we go on the daily, we did exactly that. We took out the high, and then you can see the drop happening, and I still have a bearish mind. The reason is because you can see that, okay, we took out this high, and I got the 4 hour, you have like sell side resting there. So the reason I'm not being bullish is because when you go back on the daily time frame, it's not a clear uptrend, like it's just weeks of taking out recent highs and so on, which means that yeah, we haven't been able to close above the recent highs to create higher highs. So let's see if we can find some sells and take out these equal lows, these relatively equal lows resting here. So first off, I'd like to mark this low. It's a crucial low. I can sweep. I'm in a good liquidity zone, so it's sell side. And now I'd like to go to the 1 hour. The 1 hour, you can see that we tried to drop, but we didn't reach there. It's currently 1 on Thursday, and we have some news on that Thursday, which are retail sales month on month, month over month. I think it means month over month. I think. Let's say retail sales month over month. Yeah. So we can try to find an entry to position ourselves to go lower. So I'd like to see the sessions so far. So you can see we have Asia resting right there, and the previous day low, which is another drawn liquidity resting here, and again some equal lows so we can try to find a way to position ourselves to find some sells. So 15 minutes is looking still clear. So we start dropping immediately. We don't get any kind of like break or retracement to position us into a trade. And you can see that we've already took out the previous day low. So why did this stay open? Thursday. Went a bit high, then we dropped. Okay. We still have a large side liquidity waiting, so no big deal. But so far you can see that we took out the equal lows that we were waiting for. There were some equal lows right here. Yeah, these ones. We haven't reached them as well. Okay, we get a consolidation in the kill zones. Okay, so the news don't do anything big, but we instead explode to the downside, as you can see, and we end up taking out the liquidity zones that we had thought of. So this is clean price delivery, although we didn't find anywhere to place ourselves in the market. The only possible entry would have been yesterday on Wednesday. You can see that at least we took out this high fairly, shifted structure, and then we traced back into this gap inside there, and you can see it started to drop after what happened. So I'd like to go back to the 4-hour now to see what's to happen next. So after taking out this sell side liquidity, now we can plan for a move to the upside. We can plan for a fly, but let's first exhaust the sell side liquidity. It's currently 10 in the morning, so I don't think I'll find another entry because already we've took out the one that we wanted, the liquidity that we wanted to. So let's just wait for the next day as we take read price here. So you can see the overnight consolidation. So since we took out the liquidity from yesterday, I would now like to see a push to the upside, and you can see that Asia has just ended. We took out the low from Asia. How's the 15 looking like? Okay, 15 is giving a nice rejection, but so far we took out this low. We are in this kind of fair value gap, and the 4-hour is showing some rejections of like this gap, but I think we've already rebalanced this move from this low to this high. You can see we've already reached the OTE level inside there. So now the 15 minute, you can see that we took out Asia lows nicely, have previous day low resting right there, and yeah, I think that was all. I'd like to have a bullish bias here, where my next target would obviously be these highs from yesterday, like this New York high, and these ones are later on for runners to reach there. So on the 5 minutes so far, what I can see is after taking out this liquidity, we shifted structure. We have an internal high right here, and we dropped. So I'd like to see a rejection of these small fair value gaps. You can see we push into it and then we start rejecting. It's currently 155 on Friday, so I think this trade would be a nice one, but it's not yet London or even London, or it's not even London or New York yet. So maybe this trade will be really risky, but our target will basically be this high or even that one for the time being. And let me mark the reasons why I'm entering this trade. So first, but we have equal lows right here, very great point of liquidity. So I'd first like to mark that this way, the liquidity. Which means we have a good sweep, then an internal shift, then a small fair value gap retracement. We'll retrace it into this one. Consider we're rejecting. The stop loss might be right there. Let's see what this trade does. It ends up as a stop out, but it was going nice so far. So New York has started its move. So what could we have fixed here? By the way, was this like 1-to-1? So you can, okay. So what could we have fixed here? Yeah, I think maybe this is just market conditions. This was not bad. And as London kicks in, you can see the manipulation move to the downside. And I'm thinking that we are to take out these equal lows and at least take out them from here and then start to push higher. Let's see what New York does, I mean London. Okay, we also take out the previous day low, which shows us signs that we might be about to continue to drop instead. After all, you know, the day can also be bearish. So going back to the 15-minute, you can see that we're still dropping as crazy. So London session is still playing out. Okay, we can see a really good sweep of liquidity on the high at 9:45. And on the 1 hour, how does this look like? Well, we were in some kind of order block, and I'd like to hide this. Okay, good. So you can see in this drop move, like this order block here, and there's this sweep. I'm thinking we might be a bit late to the entry, but there's no worry about that. Let's just see if price action delivers nicely. Now we have a shift in structure. We just want a retracement into this gap, and our target would be, let's go lower. Target will be reaching at least this order block, because we have, sorry, let me see if it's really another block. Well, it's not another block because this was obviously a downtrend. So the shift occurred here, which means this will be a valid order block. So that will be our target if we are to take a trade there. So I want retracement into this fair value gap right here. And since we had this clean sweep, and now let's see if we retrace into it. I'd like to go like using the 1 minute. Okay, I don't think we'll be going into the gap. by the looks of it. Let's see how the next candle reacts. So it's already in the afternoon. Maybe this trade would run overnight, I don't know. So you can see this candle rejecting already. But I want it to spike in really nicely. Okay, so now we're in the gap. You can see we are starting to show some signs of rejection in this London session. Let's see what happens if we go slowly. And you can see that we're referring to break, which means this might be a really good trade. Let's see how this candle closes. Okay, it's time to cash the knife. So we cash it here, stop loss above the gap. We can extend it. And my first target will obviously be this low, giving us a 2.34, but our target on the higher time frame is basically, let's look on the 45, about the 30. Okay, looks even more clear on the 30-minute. So I'd like to put my stop loss there and my target on this low. We're getting a nice drop to the downside, and you can see we end up hitting take profit as the day ends. And funny thing is that we waited over the weekend for this trade to pan out. So this is a good 3R over here, nice 3R. So you can see this is already like in the afternoon. So let's see how the market is looking now. So we hit the order block that we were waiting for, and we might respect it or not respect it. So it's depend, we can or not. But I would like to use the 4-hour now because the 4-hour looks more clear. The reason I say it's more clear is because it will show me a clear view of the order block. Like, since at least here we had like some kind of shift and a clear uptrend, which means that our order block can be minimized even to this somewhere there. So yeah, I think this is it, and the trade obviously would reach that point as well. And how long did this trade take? I think it's the whole day, like 8 to 7ish hours, 10 hours. It's crazy. We entered at 4 and we got out at 14. You can see that we end up dropping fully into that order block. So now the next day obviously might give us a push to the upside. So far we can see that we are rejecting, and on the 4-hour I can see that we are having a really nice rejection. And as the next day opens, this is already London session. I'd like to shorten this 4-hour order block. But now what I would like to see is a reaction on this order block, and then a shift in structure, because so far we can see small moves. Like, since we're in a high time frame POI, I would like to see a sweep below some lows, shift in structure, and then a drop to a retracement to a fair value gap. 15-minute isn't showing anything strong, but let's see what new exception will bring to the table. All right, you can see now you get a clean drop into this gap, and the 30-minute is looking at it like this. So this is the gap on the 30-minute and the 1 hour. This is how it's looking, and I would like to see a continuation, a push to the upside. So far we haven't seen a sweep, so maybe we'd like to wait for that and see if it pans out. So let's just sit and wait. All right, so you can see now here that we took out a low from that 4-hour order block. A good sweep. I'm going on the 5-minute. You can see that it's a shift in structure. So I'd like to mark it on the 15. Have a clean shift in structure. And then on the 5-minute it's the same thing. Retracement. Alright, this is the retracement that we're waiting for. You can see this one. Let's see how we reject. And the reason is, well, it's a gap, and it's OTE. So when you go on the 5-minute, you still have this gap here. Sorry, this gap wasn't respected, but we can push it right here. So this is the gap we have. So let's see if we reject it. So you can see that we're already rejecting this level, and I would like to enter this trade. So far we are in OTE, we're rejecting this fair value gap. You can see how good these candles are closing, and we are in a POI. And my target would obviously be first this high here, and then we can hold even to reach these highs resting right there, which will give you a 4.5 hour, but let me just target like a 3 hour or 2 hour resting there. So we're risking 1%. They'll save this. And I think let's see how this trade goes now. So far you can see that we're respecting the fair value gap. And how is it looking on the 15-minute? It's looking nice. And on the 15-minute you can see, whoa, we got a clean retracement into this gap. But the only thing that I'm not agreeing on with these entries are that I have to hold them overnight for at least for them to be good runners. So I think here I'll protect my capital. And well, a nice TP gets hit the next day, but the only bad thing is that then this makes us trade only this one day, and this day could also provide a setup, take out this low. But let's see if this is clear enough. Well, this is not bad, even though the trade took long. It took 23 hours, almost a full day. So you can see that so far we're respecting the 4-hour order block, and it's really helping. You can see that order block. We have this sell model, and I think we're about to build now another buy model. So when we got the 4 to 15, let's go to the next day because it's already late. So as the day starts, you can see London spiraling up, and you can mark the session. So you can see that we have Asia range resting in there, took out the high, and we have these lows. These lows are good liquidity, but let's see if we trade into them on the 5-minute. That will be the only opportunity we'd get. But in this, I think here we can also we are having a silver bullet. We took out this low, shifted structure, and we have a fair value gap at 310 that we're retracing to, and we are in a bullish condition with our drawn liquidity being the previous day high. So silver bullet doesn't get respected on that day. Instead we keep dropping, and I got the 15. Is it any clearer? But we can see that we took out this high, so we have a clean shift in structure. We get a huge push to the upside. Maybe we're targeting this low, but this low, I think these lows are really good liquidity. So before maybe the day goes on, London will take them out. So I'd like to take read this, like my entry will be in these areas, stop loss somewhere there, and I'd like to target these lows. But I won't take this trade because, you know, we're still in London manipulation. Whoa, this is a nice setup, really nice setup. You can see that we took out these highs, these equal highs, and this bases off the models that I was telling you when we started. Like, we have a strong sweep on the higher time frame. When I got the lower time frame, you can see that provides a really good entry. After sweeping, you can still start rejecting and dropped towards the liquidity levels, resting right here, giving us a good 3 risk to reward trade. Oh, okay. So I'd like to also mark that these lows were taken out before we start New York, because New York will absolutely show us something, and New York drops consistently, which means we have a drawn liquidity there, previous day low. But let's see where this goes, which means runners, they're already here. And wow, get clean price delivery. And we had news on that day. We had GDP annualized and gross domestic product price index. Yeah, not bad. Can see that we get a really clean drop. Where did this come from? So on the 1 hour, you can see that we're having a clean. We had this buy model, we started a sell model, and going on the 15-minute, I'd like also to, this entry was really nice, man. I can't miss marking it out to show how clean it looked like. So we had the shift here, and we had this So it's basically we're respecting a POI inside there. Let's see which POI it was. So it's some kind of auto block, because you can see we have another block here. So in that auto block we had a sweep, shift, and boom, the drop. Anyways, so this was really nice. We are not even 10 yet, which means we can find an entry at 10 a.m. So we get the continuation of the drop, and it looks like in just one day we dropped until this level. Let's see how the daily looks like. Wow, daily dropped until we reached here, so it's not bad. So which means that our only next run liquidity would be the lows from somewhere here. Where are they? Daily. The only draw, next draw, will be like this low or this one, like EG, this recent one below this other block. Let's see if we reach there. So we reached there really nicely. Now imagine holding all these handles from here to here. Wow. It is not bad. And I can see that we're reversing the reversal that I told you as we started this session. But we didn't take out the low clearly, because you know it looks like they're equal lows somehow. Okay. So on the next day, the 15-minute, I can see a good push to the upside. And the direction I have today in mind is pretty bullish, because I want to, you know, position myself higher after this sweep. So first I'd like to see maybe a sweep of an important low, then push to the upside. Okay, London's opening nicely. But it's consolidating somehow. So we end up taking out the highs. But you can see that on the 15-minute or even the 30-minute that we are reacting on a 30-minute order block inside here. So the only sweep was this low. But we didn't get a retracement, so this wouldn't be a valid entry yet. Alright, I'm starting to see something here. Well, the only entry possible here, but you can see that we're in a POI sweep here, and we have a shift internally, but on the 15-minute it's wait for a shift right here, or this is also another high, but let me use this here. Have MSS, and we are currently in this big fair value gap. You can see that we're starting to reject bit by bit. Using the 1M, let's see how if it rejects this level fully. How does the next candle open? You can see the next candle opens up bullish, and it's Friday. So another thing is that, oh yeah, I think we're gonna buy here. And another thing I want to say is that this could be the we've already reached discount, yeah, from here to this high. So I'd like to position myself there, and my target would have been these highs, like the previous day high, but it's really too far. I don't think the market could reach there, and it would require me to put my stop loss somewhere there. But I don't think I'd like to take that, but instead, you know, at least use the fib, like something like this from here. Like using the fib, you can see that this price move retracement, our targets will be somewhere. First target here, and the targets will be raising up somewhere there. So let's add like a level 3 and see. So you can see that we have this fib level as our target, as level 3. Anyways, so let's see if this trade pans out or not. So I'd like to risk 1% or break even when we reach given value of 2R. Okay, and actually 1.5 is enough. And yeah, take profit can be disabled since we have news. We can see a push, crazy push. Oh, crazy news. What news was this? Consumption, whatever. Let's continue. So how does it look like on the 1 hour? It's looking really bad. But wait, we didn't move break even. I don't think so, because we didn't reach half, so it couldn't have been break even. Anyways, it's no worries, not every setup works out. So on the 1 hour, you can see that we dropped again right here, but we took out this high. I'm going the 15-minute, where yeah, we're dropping. How's the 30-minute looking like? Okay, let's see the 15. This is a no setup day, and let's start Monday like this. So we have this range, day low, day high, and I still have bullishness in mind. The reason is because, well, we took out this low from there, and looking on it at a higher time frame standpoint and removing all this clutter here. Nope, I want to remove some of these because I want to show you like the fib from this low to this high. You can see price dropped into OTE and then started to fly. You can see price dropped into OTE and then started to fly. So yeah, it's reasonable to continue pushing higher. So 1 hour showing nothing big. Let's go to day 2 after the Asia starts. So Asia has started, and on the 15-minute, there's nothing big so far. Create equal lows as soon as London opens. And boom, we take out the equal lows. I don't know why I see something like we're about to shift. Okay, we don't, and I think we've already started New York, and we're coming back into this imbalance, this gap, and we trade through it absolutely massively. And well, so far I don't think we had reached the premium of this move. Oh yeah, we had reached premium, and it's actually OTE. If we use the bodies of the candles, you can see that we've tapped into OTE entry, the optimal trade entry right there, a few ticks, and then we started to drop. But that doesn't remove that this move from here to here will give us an entry, because I still think we're about to push. This is a protected low, and we would like to continue to push higher. So from this low to the high, discounts there, and since we're at 830, we'd like to continue to see the drop continuing until that low. So we got a retracement into this gap, and then we reject, and obviously we will reach into 0.618. Oh, this is nice. So you can see we drop into 0.18 faster than we even thought, but this is looking really clean. And we take out this low, which means that this fib showed us from the lower time frame. But yeah, nice push. Alright, so let's see what happens after we take out the low. After we take out the low, you can see that we start with a crazy push to the upside, like what happened earlier. Push, small retracement into the gap. Well, I would like to take this entry honestly, because as I said, if we have a sweep and a rejection above the liquidity level, then I would like to target the next liquidity level, which is obviously like the daily high, or this high is resting here. And this is really tempting, because consider from this low to this high, we dropped into discount and then started to reject. And on the 5 minute, you can see we have this clean fair value gap. And going on the 1 minute, let's see if we reject. So you can see that we're rejecting this fair value gap here. We're having a really nice rejection. So I'd like to take this entry and target these highs and these highs. So like London high, previous session high, giving us a 3R, and my risk to reward being 0.5, because we lost the last one, so we cut our risk by half. Let's see how this plays out. So I'm like currently trading against the trend somehow. So here it's like, I would consider this like a stop out, because we've already closed below the candle, the fair value gap I mean. And on the 5 minute we haven't did that yet, but let's see. If we close below, then it's done. You can see we closed below, so yep, loss accepted. And how does the 1 hour look like? Yeah, so number of us trying to trade the reversal. Let's wait for the next day. So next day opens in that range as well. You can see that we have the Asian session there. So you have equal lows, great point of liquidity. And as the news comes out, is this news or is that the 8:30 open? It's the 9:30 open, it takes out these lows from the liquidity from the lows, and then pushes higher, closes above the high, and it also takes out these highs right here, and then it starts to drop. Let's see what our next drawn liquidity will be then, because we're dropping consistently. So we have now this low waiting for us. This will be the next drawn liquidity. Yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we will meet on the next day. Stay blessed. Peace.